Get a little bit of this and a little bit of that this week. Our first one comes from Bob. Bob is in Pennsylvania, and he says, "Hi, Alan. I have been following you for a while, and I've purchased your guide and used the products through your website." Thanks, bro. "It's been great, and this spring my grass was rocking. However, I live in Pittsburgh, and we've been crushed with no rain and high temps. Couple that with my irrigation system's been broken until recently. My grass is now mostly dormant or dead. My question is around fall seeding. If my grass had been plush and the way I like it, do I just wait for it to come back, or is it worth core rating and overseeding? I've attached a picture below. I have just aerated and overseeded last fall. I appreciate your videos and emails." So here's the thing with Bob. Now, I'll put the picture up. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. So this is what his lawn looks like when he wasn't able to water it all summer. Got no rain, apparently, or very little. Now, you guys had temps way over 95, bunch of days, way too many days in a row, which is way too hot for cool season turf. It's not your fault, obviously. What are you going to do, right? But it's just too hot. There's upper limits to what something can handle. That's all living things. There's only a certain upper limit to what you can handle, and that's it. And you're going to check out. And so his grass went dormant. Now, there's some green in it, so I'm assuming he started watering again from his irrigation that he just got fixed, but that's a key word there. He had no irrigation all summer. He's just got it fixed. So you got a choice, right? Do I hope for the best and hope that it wakes up, or do I aerate and overseed and hopefully fill some of it in? So let's just talk through that decision, because I can't make that for you. I can't see your lawn, and you're right. You can't tell the difference in dormant and dead areas unless you start waking it up. So that's the first thing you want to do. And what I would recommend is if you're somebody, he's got his irrigation fixed, if you're somebody that does have a way to water now, then you're going to have to start watering. The thing you want is to wait for mild or more cool temperatures. And I think most of you guys are getting more mild temperatures. You're in the 80s. You're getting some days in the 70s. So the first thing is that's a sign to the grass. When the temperatures outside start getting lower from those 90s, that's a sign to the lawn, hey, okay, you can come out of your dormancy now. Now, some of it may not be able to if it's dead. We'll talk about that. But you can come out of your dormancy now. The temperatures are cool. You can come out and start, living again, start growing again, right? Because it's waiting for the fall anyway. When you get to the fall, the grass will come out because it just does. That's its growth habit. I've showed you the growth humps of the cool season lawn before. So hopefully you're getting some of those signals now, and the grass is kind of thinking to itself, the crown of the grass, it's still kind of dormant brown, but like, okay, I feel this cool temp, but I'm going to wait a little bit, make sure that it's not a fluke, make sure that they're not fooling me here, make sure that we are going to stay with these cool temps. But the other thing is you got to give it the water. And so that's the thing. You got to commit to watering. He's got his irrigation fixed now. He can do that. So if you are going to try to wake it up, then that's what you want to do before you consider aeration overseed, because we're pretty early. Even we're 2 weeks early for Pennsylvania right now anyway for aeration overseed. So go ahead and take advantage and see what comes up. So got your irrigation in line, got your cooler temps helping you, start watering. So you want to start watering every single day for the next 5 to 6 days, and you want to get down a ½ inch, even 3/4 inches of water in the morning for the next 5 to 6 days. What that will do is, coupled with the cooler temps that the lawn is feeling, will also tell the lawn, bro, I got you in the water department too. I got you hooked up. So we're going to give you cooler temps. We're going to give you water. You are welcome to wake up now. And what will happen is any grass that's not dead will start to wake up. It will start to come back. And I can kind of see that in his pictures a little bit here from Bob because he started to water. Now, after that 5 or 6 day mark, give it, cut your watering back to every other day, just like you normally would. Hopefully you'll get a rain help in there. Man, I'll tell you what, a good nourishing rain, so much better than your irrigation could be. That will help. And give it that 10 days is about that time. By the way, you could put down a little fertilizer if you want. You could put down some stress type fertilizer that's high in potash at the same time that you start this watering. That would be a huge help. You're not going to hurt anything, right? Because the grass that's going to live is the grass that's going to live, so you're going to help it. I would definitely do that. High potash. We have a 7020 on the website, a Yard Mastery brand. Man, that stuff, the results from that have been crazy. Like way better than I expected. I was like, we'll put up an inexpensive, potassium summer fertilizer here. And the pictures I get back are crazy. And then we have the Stress X, obviously that has the sulfate of potash in it. And then we have a straight SOP sulfate of potash. Any of those would be great to really help that lawn come out as you start this process. As you decide, I'm going to start the watering now. I got the cooler temperatures there. So give it that 10 days, hit it with the fert at the same time. And after 10 days, take a look at the lawn. You want to look at areas that greened up and areas that didn't. And the first thing you should do to the areas that didn't go green up is go start digging, even if you put down a grub app, because what happens inevitably, and I'm going to start seeing emails as soon as this happens, as soon as things start to come out, People are going to send me emails. What are these brown spots? If you are coming from summer into fall and the lawn is starting to green up, but there are some areas that aren't, you want to go dig in those areas and look for grubs. There is no sense in guessing if you have grubs. If you have them, you will find them. They will be present. They look like little white shrimp under the lawn. I have so many people that go, hey, I have brown spots. I wonder if it's grubs. No, there's no need to wonder. Go dig. You'll find them. You dig in the brown spot and you dig right up to the edge where it turns green. The grass will pull up and you will find the grubs under there. Again, they look like little white shrimp. Because a lot of times that's what happens. The grass has been dormant. The grubs have been there. You haven't seen it because the whole grass was dormant. Now the areas that don't come back, those are the areas where the grubs were chewing on those dormant roots throughout the summer. So that's the first thing you do. If you don't find grubs, then chances are those areas that are brown, those did die during the summer, especially in the case like Bob here where he wasn't able to water. Now, if you're somebody that was able to water in the summer like I've been preaching at you to do, which was water every 7 to 10 days, 1/2 inch of water just to keep the crowns alive. Let the grass go dormant. That's fine. That's okay. That's a defense mechanism that it does. But you want to go ahead and make sure you're watering at least once a week to keep the crowns alive. The grass will not turn green from that, but it'll just have enough moisture to stay dormant on its own and in its little hibernation in the summer there. It's checkout period. If you've been doing that and you don't find grubs, or if you've been doing that, you shouldn't really have any dieback. You might still get some. But either way, areas that are brown coming out of the fall or into the fall, out of the summer, areas that are brown that you don't find grubs, those are dead. And that's when you make the determination on whether you should seed or not, or aerate and seed or not, depending how big those areas are. If they're just scattered throughout areas, if there's green scattered throughout and a few dead spots here and there that are the size of a softball, like a 16-inch softball, then that's okay. Those will kind of fill back in. The roots too, a lot of times the roots will surprise you and push up some new fresh stuff. So in that case, then what you would do is if you're just scattered green, scattered brown throughout, I would go ahead and go in a defense mechanism. We're going to talk about that, pre-emergent and heavy fert. But if you have large sweeping areas that are dead, then you're going to have to break out that aerator, overseed again, do the whole thing, poke a whole bunch of holes, all of that. Now, one thing too, leading up to that time, I've encouraged you to try to water your way out of it to give yourself that look. And that's really what I'm talking about here. Water your way through now that you have a couple weeks of pad time here and just see if the lawn wakes back up. It's kind of a litmus test for yourself to understand, did it die or did it not? And the reason that makes sense is because if you're going to seed, you're going to have to be able to water the seed. So your excuse can't be, well, I can't water. Well, if you can't water, then you shouldn't seed anyway. That's what a lot of people will say. They'll say, well, I can't do this watering to wake the lawn up. Well, then the answer to you seeding would be no, period. Because if you can't water, you can't seed. You shouldn't seed. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to look at this. But one thing I would do is if you are going to aerate and overseed, he would be doing this, is make sure you're watering up to it. You want to be able to pull a good core, and the way that you pull a good core is to make sure there's proper soil moisture there. So I kind of went a little over there on that one, but I think again, this podcast is designed to get you guys to think through things in a little bit different way, look at things a little bit differently. And I think that's a good way to test your lawn starting now to see how it's doing.